people in government, people on the streets, people in the air, stealing from the resources of Nigeria. How do you want to enforce law when there is no law? Who will enforce law? The courts have collapsed, the police has collapsed, every aspect of national life and love and order would have collapsed. Where do you start from? And you did say, well, if somebody is in government and is not stealing and his wife is not stealing, what about the concubine if they're stealing? You know? Yeah, so those questions are related. I want you to address it. Thank you very much.
I didn't say that. I didn't say those around him. That's where I put the uncles and concubines. I know they're all involved. But like I said before, what we are going through is not peculiar to us. Nation, that's why I said I visited countries with similar trajectory. Countries have gone through that, even worse than what we've gone through. And that is what our dear father questions. Leadership. What changed all that is simply leadership. I don't want to use, let me give you an example of Anambra State again. Anambra State in year 2000, year 2001, the schools were closed. There was no secondary school, no primary school. Nobody went to school because they couldn't pay the teachers. The consequence is that when I became governor, we were number 26, 27 in Wayeka Neko. That's what we were. We had a situation where we were owing salaries, pension, and everything. We couldn't pay pension. My predecessor had just, Dr. Chris again, had just started what I can call meaningful work on the roads. And has started pension. But we're owing people pensions and everything. I always tell people my experience with Okendibe's mother. I later knew that it was Okendibe's mother. Professor Okendibe's mother met me in a church. I usually go to morning mass and everything. Usually go to church in the morning as governor, and I go to the nearby church. And I came to church in the morning, I was praying. She came and took my Bible and everything and asked me to leave the church. And I said, why? So people started saying, oh, you can't do that. It's the governor. He said I should leave the church. So I then wanted to know why this elderly woman, 80 years old, he said that I should. Now God will not hear my prayer. Now she's been owed gratuity and pension for several years. I should go and pay it, and she will pray for me. I said, Ma, can I come to your house? She said, I shouldn't come to her house. She doesn't want to see me. I should go and pay her. So in the evening, I found out her house. I didn't know Kendi, but then I didn't know it was the mother. So I went to her. I went to her house. She was just there in the evening on her own eating corn, and here is governor. He said, I told you not to come. But since you've come, what do I give you? I don't have anything to give you. So I said, Mama, let me enjoy the corn with you. So we sat down. He told me a story that made me to make up my mind. Whoever is owing pension and gratuity is committing a crime.
Yes.
Because you're owing people at the most difficult time of their life, when they have less opportunity. And I say, Ma, I'm going to pay everybody. In 8 years, we cleared every single gratuity of that something billion. In education, it was the same thing. We went about, brought back the church, brought back the owners of the school, and said, take back your school. They were struck, they were everything. We will finance it. We will put money to it. Chika is from Umoji. If you go to Amata Bliss in Umoji, you won't believe it's the same school. They changed. We moved from 26 to number 1. So these things can change. I just showed you, we have a Niger State, fertile land, everything can work there. You go there, the governor cannot go to about 7 local governments because of stealing, because of banditry, because of this. I've gone to prisons and asked these kids, why are you doing this? They have no job. So all those things you're seeing today is linked to poverty. The more you pull people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality. It's happened in Brazil, Mexico, everywhere around here. It's a simple thing. People are going back to Mexico now. From here. So I can tell you, if we start doing the right things today, and you talked about where you're going to get people to support it. No. All of you who are outside Nigeria are the first investors we need. If we have security, law and order today, you put your money there. The reason the biggest contributor to this country's GDP is law and order. And it's a low-hanging fruit. If you, the leader, chooses to obey, live by it, you follow through. But rascality and bad behavior have become a measure of power and success in our place. You must change it. If you change it, it will work. And I've seen it work in my small place in Anambra State. If they see you, children who go to school, I put zebra crossing in Oka. You know what the kids do? When they see my own vehicle as governor coming, they start crossing it because they know I will stop. And because I was stopping, everybody starts stopping. I was telling Chika when I came here and somebody was lecturing. He said, you can enter. I said, I can't enter. I came late. I have to stay outside. I said, let me tell you, Chika, as governor, I insist, if you come to church today, you stay at the back. That's where let's come and stay. You don't come and walk irrascally. So it is, that's what I said, bringing civility to it. Good behavior. These are part of leadership. So it can be done. We have all the talents and everything all over the world. It's a question of the leadership have to show it. You have to start by saying, my name is Peter Obi. I'm from this town. I went to this primary school, this secondary school, this university, and people come. They're very important. You know, when Chika was saying my CV, he said Harvard. I said, no, Chika, I did a program in Harvard. I'm an alumnus of Oxford and Cambridge. It can go and be verified.
Verified.
I don't need to put injunction for you not to see it. Go and tell them in Nsukka whether they'll give you my transcript. These are things we must. And we must do it and say, this is who we are. Because that's what makes us. Nobody said you must be anything. No. We have had leaders all over the world that didn't go to school. Just say, this is who I am. These are my parents. These are my students. You know? So we will do that. I assure good behavior. These are part of leadership. So it can be done. We have all the talents and everything all over the world. It's a question of the leadership have to show it. You have to start by saying, my name is Peter Obi. I'm from this town. I went to this primary school, this secondary school, this university, and people come. They're very important. You know, when Chika was saying my CV, he said Harvard. I said, no, Chika, I did a program in Harvard. I'm an alumnus of Oxford and Cambridge. It can go and be verified.
Verified.
I I don't need to put injunction for you not to see it. Go and tell them in Nsukka whether they'll give you my transcript. These are things we must. And we must do it and say, this is who we are. Because that's what makes us. Nobody said you must be anything. No. We have had leaders all over the world that didn't go to school. Just say, this is who I am. These are my parents. These are my students. You know? So we will do that. All of us know that no African child, Nigerian child, would have passed through a formal school without knowing the name actually. And you'll be missing something. Because everywhere I've been in Africa, surprisingly, everybody must have one way or the other read about things fall apart. In my own case, I'm lucky that I also went to Nsukka, which I can call the home of Achebe and everything. I don't want to tell you my experience of Achebe. I think you just left Nsukka without entering. But I can tell you, let me just mention it. We took English 101. And none of us passed. Everybody failed. And we decided to go confront him. And he told us that he mainly gave up some of us who got D for the sake of it that we're not speaking. We didn't see any English. And we had just waited to come out of secondary school with some A, some B, some in English. And we are like, but like I said, you couldn't have passed first college. But this remarkable writer had a uniqueness in him. Though a writer, he remained a social being who had a communal involvement of seeking for a better society. Of all the books I've read, his literature, he's always had to do with the society, and there was always a hero that he uses as an example. Could have been Concord in Things Fall Apart, who would rather sacrifice himself and allowed his society to be trampled by an alien disposition. Here is a look at the arrow of God who found himself between the deeds of society and him as the God or the chief priest of it. And then, of course, Viko, a European educated who found himself between his personal morality and his having to do something wrong in order to please society. Of course, comes to a head when you talk about Shifananga in one of the people who I'm sure tells us about the African society as it is today, where being in politics is an opportunity for primitive accumulation, corruption, and betrayal of the people. In all these, you could see a connection between the right of children and the health of the society. And if you look at his final book, which I always say to people, he finally found out that whatever he wrote of Nigeria had been dashed. That's what that final, you could see a lamentation in that final book, which is there was a country. And in all this, it's about the community. And what is my own interest as a politician? Because if you look at all his rights, his literary career, his teachings about politics, He's always austerely speaking truth to power and living it. Because what we see in Nigeria today is that people don't live up to what they say. I was telling somebody today that one of the best things that happened to us in Nigeria was President Tinubu. Because actually question whether people believe in what they say, whether they actually honorable enough stand when they listen. And it showed the height of Nigerian corruption and criminality. Because people couldn't stand in what they were preaching. And for me, that's where Sirachi was different. He rejected national law from Obasanjo because of what, according to him, was happening in his own state at the time. And he did so in Jonathan regime, at 50th anniversary of Nigeria, because he said things have changed. And I can tell you this. When we lost this great man, I went to President Jonathan as governor and said, you must come forever. And his people go to him that they can't go because that's where I rejected Nigeria. That's the that is what is in my mind. Because this man stood for what he preached. That's why he must come and celebrate it. And he said, yes, then you're right. This is the Lord. So that's what attracted me. Of course, 10 years of that date, we have to celebrate. But, like Chicken always says, it's also 14 years for us to look at this explosive, what I call explosive booklet of this, the trouble in Nigeria. The trouble in Nigeria, like you mentioned, is leadership. And I think that if I said there was alive today, we are taking back the book. Because when he wrote it, there was no trouble. There was no trouble. He wrote it when we had peace and when we had. Maybe God didn't want him to live to see the trouble. That's why he called him up. I'm sure he's watching us from the bosom of the Lord. That short booklet is what we're still going through today in Nigeria. What was mentioned there, and I quote the trouble in Nigeria is simply and squarely leadership. There's nothing basically wrong with the Nigerian character. There's nothing wrong with the life or climate or water or air or anything else. It is simply that the leaders have refused to rise up to their responsibility. The challenges of personal example, which is hallmark through leadership, and that is what we are going through today. You don't agree with me that what Nigeria is going through today is cumulative effect of leadership failure over the years. That is what brought us to where we are today. We're not classified on everything that is wrong as a nation. Everything that is wrong is where we are now, the crisis is there. 40 years ago, on the day he wrote this important words. We're now in a deep crisis. Miraculous under the failed state. We're not in a situation where Nigerians have helplessly watched their Commonwealth stolen and put in private pocket. Government in Nigeria have now become a gigantic crime criminal enterprise. We're in a situation where we've been reduced because of corruption, where the world is about to exceed the fossil fuel. And Nigeria cannot show anything for all the trillions of dollars we were able to earn since 1959. We're in a situation where Nigeria has become, like I told somebody yesterday, where we're now a country of no strategic importance for anyone. Consequently, we are classified as one of those countries where you can say is developing backward. That's why I said last year was today. I don't know how I'm free. In the 27th Economic Summit, because you mentioned about the Economic Summit, the World Bank Country Director in Nigeria showed us clearly, like I said, they wrote this book 40 years ago. So if you're looking at 40 years ago, you're looking at 1980 to 1983. He told us that the per capita of Nigeria in 1981 is sent in as our per capita in 2021, 2022. In fact, 1981 is higher. Our per capita 1981 is 2,180.20 cents. Our per capita in 2022 is 2,097. So it is actually high. In 40 years, that's why I said if my dear father was there, I don't know what he would have been today. Our minimum wage, Nigerian workers were paid was 125 naira. And at that time, at the rate of exchange then, 125 naira was between 180 to $200. All we're saying is that Nigerians must, of all sides, join us in rescuing this country from its captors.